Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it rain. Tonight we gonna let it rain. Tonight we gonna let it rain. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it rain. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna let it rain. Tonight we gonna let it rain. Tonight we gonna let it rain. Just like the sunrise, we gonna let it rain.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. How's everybody doing tonight? Hopefully you guys are having a great evening. I'm going to sit my chair down just a little. There we go. Thought it was up a little high, but welcome in. If you're new to the channel, my name is Titanium Bill or Tanya. You can call me by my real name if you'd like to. Either or is perfectly good with me. Hopefully the sound's coming in clear as day. It usually always is. And welcome on in, everybody. Hopefully you guys are having a great Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? It is Wednesday. Wednesday the 25th. I cannot believe we're already through this month already almost. Can you guys? I can't. Welcome in, Ladybug, baby girl. Welcome in, everybody. Hey, SSD. Hey, Jog. It's good to see everybody in here. Good to see y'all. If you guys don't mind, take a second, hit the like button while we're kind of just getting everybody settled in. Kick your legs up, get a drink, get a snack, all the things. There's been a lot of stuff going on the streets over with the Idaho 4 case. I've been like, oh, okay. So before I start, if like last night I went back to the replay and I saw the chat. It looked like it was getting kind of rowdy, maybe a little. I'm not sure what I saw. But if you decide like, hey, this person just like really gets underneath my skin and I don't like them, there is a block button. It's available to everybody. Anybody can use it. Just block them. That's what I do. If you don't want to see someone, just block them. That's fine. You know, we're all adults here. But I figured I'd give you the PSA. But with that said, I've received a couple comments and I received a couple emails today telling me about interviews with none other than William 127, Bill, as I like to call him. Old Bill, Brian Koberger's friend. Supposedly he knows him because he says he does. So I am going to review the video. I went and I watched about like 45 minutes of it. And as of right now, I don't think he's I don't think he's here to do anything but get on the platform, get a little bit of subscribers, and sell his hand cut knives or handmade knives that he makes. So with that said, no. So if you go to like you might not have one, Ladybug, but usually if you're in the chat, you can just go to the 3 dots and it'll let you block the person. I block people all the time on accident. I have to go back in. I'm like, who'd I block? Because I'll accidentally I've accidentally done it before. And I'm like, oh, whoops. What'd I do? So I am going to do a review on it. I'm going to take notes on what the inconsistencies are. And I'm going to break it down in more of like a mathematical timeline, because the math just to me isn't mathing. And so with that said, we'll do that probably tomorrow night. So I have a little more time to get together what I think's going on. I'm going to start calling her ears because she does that every night before we start the live. I brought her in a blanket because I thought she wanted one too, because her sister has one, and then her sister took it. So there's that. So now she's back in the chair. But we are on part what? 4 and 5. Okay. I'm like, we're getting through this book pretty quickly. So we've been reading. Oh, I have it right here. What the heck? Oh, that's my brush. I'm like, what did I knock over? I didn't know that was on my. Okay. So we've been reading While Idaho Slept. We are on part 4 and 5. We just read 2 and 3 last night. So I'm going to put up some overlays, and then I'm going to go over what those went over, or what those parts entail. So then we'll start on part 4 and 5. Because I figured if we do 2 a night, that'd be pretty good, right? I think that'd be pretty good. But part 2, it delves into the personal lives of the 4 victims. I'm going to put them up on the screen here. Just humanizing them through detailed portraits drawn from public sources like social media, interviews, and community accounts. This is where he kind of is getting all of his information. Xana Kernodle, a 20-year-old marketing student, is described as compassionate and eager to connect with others. Her relationship with Ethan Chapin is highlighted as a central part of her life. Ethan, also 20, is portrayed as dynamic and deeply dedicated to his loved ones, particularly Xana. Kaylee and Maddie, close friends and roommates, are depicted through their social activities and the tight-knit community they formed in their off-campus home at 1122 King Road. So that's pretty much kind of what part 2 entails. And then we get into part 3, and it kind of shifts the focus to the early stages of the investigation and the intense public and media scrutiny that followed. So the Moscow Police Department, FBI, and Idaho State Police faced significant challenges due to limited resources and the unprecedented attention from national media and online platforms like yours truly, YouTube, TikTok, Reddit, all of them. So this author is going to explore the clash he did between traditional law enforcement and armchair investigators, or citizen sleuths, like we like to call ourselves, I guess. I don't really call myself a citizen sleuth. I don't really do that. I call myself Titanium Bill, or Tanya for short. I'm like, for short, and put my real name there for short. I'll put this book here so people will know if they come in what we're reading. You can't even really see it. It's so dark over here. I need to do something about that. I have 2 extra lights. I could probably brighten it up a lot more, but I didn't. So we are going to go ahead and we'll get into things. I'm going to put in the chat our membership link. I'm going to pin it to the top. If you would like to become a member throughout the live, we would love to have you as a member. I'm going to get the chat up really quick. That way I can see you guys while I'm reading. It's easier to have you up here than on the iPad. The iPad just isn't the greatest. If you guys don't mind, take a second, hit the like button while we're getting you guys up here. Okay. You guys are awesome, amazing. Thank you for being here again. After we're done with this, if we have time, maybe we'll delve into some stuff. Hey, Princess, welcome in. Felt like I couldn't see anybody last night, so here we go. This is better. Let me get the book. So we are on part 4 here, and we'll go ahead and we'll start reading. Let me grab my drink really quick. And I love reading it like this. I'd rather read it like this on the screen than the actual book, because the book doesn't have very large writing. So this is actually a lot better. And let me know actually if it's up. I didn't present it, so you're not going to see it. I'm like, oh, I didn't present it. Let's try that again. Okay. So I just want to show you where we were. What does that say? I think it tells you how many 41 pages left in this chapter. Okay. So are we ready? I think we're ready. Welcome in, everybody. It's good to see everyone. And like I said, tomorrow night we'll go over all the new stuff that's been coming out over about Brian's friend William, Bill for short. So Maddie Mogan was an only child born in May 2001 to Ben and Karen Mogan in Eugene, Oregon, a small artsy college town on the Willamette. I probably didn't say that wrong, but that's okay. River in the shadow of the Cascade Mountains, an hour from the Pacific coast. Her aunt Katie, Ben's sister, was there on the day that Maddie was born. Even in the hospital, just a few hours old, Maddie had what is this? Okay, I'm going to have someone tell me what that means or what that says. Cherubic face. Dimple, smile, and sparkling eyes that would stay with her throughout her life. Aunt Katie instantly fell in love with her niece. 22 years later, in the long and difficult weeks after Maddie's murder, her Aunt Katie would be quoted in the Spokesman Review saying that the family would now all have a Maddie-shaped hole in our hearts. Maddie and her parents lived in Eugene until Maddie was 2, when Ben and Karen decided to return to their North Idaho roots and move back to Coeur d'Alene. Ben and Karen's marriage was difficult. There were early drug-related issues with Ben and financial strain when Maddie was a toddler. They separated soon after. Karen eventually remarried to Stephen Scott Laramie, who, along with her birth father, Maddie, grew to call Dad. Maddie and her mother and stepfather lived on blue-collar Lacrosse Avenue, just down the street from Winton Elementary School. The neighborhood was quiet, compromised mostly of small houses nestled into the rolling green hills of evergreen trees. The walk to Winton took just a minute or so, and her teachers could easily see that Maddie liked going to school, where her maternal great-grandmother, Betty, a former teacher herself, often volunteered in the classroom. At that age, school was nothing but fun. They were learning to read, and Maddie enjoyed that a ton. She also liked all the colors and styles of headbands, which she wore to keep her long, straight blonde hair from falling into her face. She was petite and was drawn to other small and pretty things. She liked to dance on the playground or pretend she was a fairy. She was never snarky to the other girls. Friendships were more important to her than arguments, even at an early age. Maddie's first grade teacher, Miss Kemp, remembers the pleasure Maddie found in adventures, big or small. The class had once gone on a field trip to Lake Coeur d'Alene, which Miss Kemp had primed them for with a story of vanished ships and lost treasures in the deep, cold waters. And the story was true. The lake was full of sunken steamboats that had carried gold and silver ore in the late 1800s. Very interesting. Miss Kim suggested that the children might find some of that treasure buried in the sand. At the beach, they dug eagerly with their fingers, and lo and behold, Miss Kemp had been right. Unbeknownst to the children, parent volunteers had gone early to the lake and buried plastic coins. That is adorable. So they would find them, you know? Maddie, like the other children, was ecstatic at the find she dropped into her plastic bucket, early examples of how pretty trinkets she continued to collect throughout her life. Miss Kemp learned about Maddie's murder from a news story popping up on her phone. The shock and sorrow stayed fresh as coverage of the killings continued for weeks. Each time another story appeared, she felt the pain. That's kind of difficult, she says, between deep inhalations of sadness. It just brings all the hurt back again. You just kind of keep reliving it like when you first heard. Maddie's great-grandmother, Betty, had died 2 years before Maddie's murder, something Miss Kemp was relieved about. It just would have been way more than she could take. After Winton, Maddie was enrolled in the Coeur d'Alene Charter Academy, where she excelled academically and, of course, found Kaylee in the second family that would become as important to Maddie's development as her education would be. By her early teens, Maddie's Instagram account painted a picture of her close friendship with Kaylee and hinted at their mischief together. Beneath a vacation photo of palm trees when the girls were 13, they chatted in the comments. "Why did your mom call my mom?" Kaylee asked her, with nervous emojis added. "Probably about our B-day or something," Maddie said. "Oh, okay, cool," she said. Then Kaylee added, "I had a mini heart attack at how much she could be calling for." Maddie was 13 at the time, a month before her 14th birthday. They were just kids, with Kaylee worried about the two of them getting caught at something the way all kids worry. But in the tailwind of a tropical getaway, she posted another photo that year, an extreme close-up of one side of her face pressed to one side of Kaylee's face. Their eyes were the focus of the photograph, each of them clear and reflecting the light. Kaylee's eye was brown, Maddie's was blue. "We look so ratchet," Kaylee commented, but Maddie had posted 2 emojis of queens next to the photo. A year later, Maddie posted a photo with Kaylee in Belize. The two of them wore bikinis. Oh, there I go, touching the button again. Held each other close, stuck their tongues out at the camera. Maddie's life had come a long way from its early years of family struggle. She went to Mexico. She went to Santa Cruz, California with Kaylee. She walked on the wet sand while holding her sandals in her fingertips. There were boat rides on Lake Coeur d'Alene that summer and pool hangs. There were sunsets that were the color of burning gold over the water. It was July and Maddie was 15 when she posted a solemn-looking selfie. She was tan and her blonde hair was bleached even blonder by months of sunlight. "Nothing's forever," she wrote, without further explanation. Welcome in, everybody. Hey, Boone. Hey, Sirius. Hey, Dion. So we're on chapter 19. Maddie and Kaylee were inseparable throughout their time at the Coeur d'Alene Charter Academy, where they could have continued as students throughout high school, but both were looking for more elected experiences as they got older. They positioned their parents and made the switch to Lake City High, where Maddie worked hard at her academics and broadened her social circle, flourishing in the bigger experience of attending a less rigid public school. Here she could celebrate Spirit Week and go to the homecoming dance. She wore a short black dress with sequins on the front, spent time getting ready, posed for pictures. The experience of Lake City High was traditional and seemed to fit more with Maddie's vision for her life. At the Powder Puff football game in October of their freshman year, Kaylee played and Maddie was in the crowd supporting her with a sign that read, "Kaylee G is the real MVP," in green block letters painted with glitter. They were diving into the culture at Lake City, and they both wore it well. In November of that year, Maddie and Kaylee went to the Mac Miller concert at the Knitting Factory in Spokane, each of them with a black X in marker across one hand, signifying that they were under the legal drinking age. "It was dope," Maddie wrote on her Instagram. "I love you," Kaylee said. Over Christmas vacation, Maddie and Kaylee made candy, did their eyebrows, decorated Christmas trees with ornaments and tinsel, and by spring of their freshman year, they were in Seattle overlooking the bay with the Space Needle rising into the clouds. Then they were in Puerto Rico. They were in more swimming pools. They were wrapped in blankets beside roaring campfires. They were celebrating their birthdays together at Beverly's, a fine dining restaurant overlooking the tranquil water in Coeur d'Alene, with the docks outside the dining room's big picture windows full of expensive boats. At homecoming of Maddie's junior year, she posed for a photo with 7 of her friends. She wore a mauve-colored dress, and Kaylee wore a black one. The 5 boys in the photo all wore black pants and white shirts. Jack DeCoeur was in the photo. He wore a black bow tie and black suspenders tightened across his torso. His belt buckle caught the daylight. His smile seemed hopeful. Maddie stood between Jack and another boy, her arms around each of them. Her knee was angled towards the camera. Her dress was perfectly fitted and tasteful, her hairstyle in classic ribbons across her shoulders. She was only a teenager, but she looked confident enough to run the world. Throughout high school, Maddie not only received top grades, but also worked at multiple jobs. According to her father, Ben, she even helped at her mother's workplace on occasion. Karen Laramie had been a general manager at the Baymount Inn and Suites, a mid-scale hotel franchise, and she later worked at the Coeur d'Alene Golf and Spa Resort, a 338-room hotel at Lake Coeur d'Alene with 5-star dining, golf packages, and a full salon and spa. Maddie and some of her friends had cleaned the hotel rooms at the Baymount, one summer, bailing her mother out during a staff shortage. Maddie took pride in helping and in doing what was right. In Donna Staub's English class, Maddie's first assignment was a reading autobiography. Students chose a book they felt personally connected to and explained why. Maddie chose To Kill a Mockingbird, which she felt attached to because, according to her essay, it had taught her to always take the high ground, even if the people look bad on you for it. Although her parents had been divorced for years, things were amicable, and Maddie remained close to both of them. She and her mom even wore matching silver rings. If there was leftover strife in the family, you wouldn't know it from Maddie's Instagram feed, where nearly every photo she posted showed her looking not just insta-happy, but genuinely at ease in the world. The past was mostly just the past after all. She rode on boats and rafts, stood beside railings overlooking ripples or tides or long sandy beaches, usually while accompanying the Goncalves family. She was in Cabo, she was in Waikiki, she was in the Grand Caymans, or she was happy with her friends and snapshots from high school, but also when she got to college. Maddie and Xana in front of a white curtain with pink hearts on it, holding hands and grinning, pink balloons floating nearby. They held hands and their smiles were wide and white and magnetic. Or Maddie in a pink skirt and a pink and white cowboy hat in front of a pink metallic fringe background designed for taking photos. Maddie's shirt looked like it was made of the same material, like she wasn't just celebrating, but knew how to wear the celebration too. Or Maddie posed with Bethany Funk, a new Phi Beta Phi, a year younger, who would later become her downstairs roommate at the King Road house, each in pink sweatshirts for a photo during Bethany's initiation week at the sorority. Maddie smiling in the photo with her new sister like it was the first day of spring, no matter the season. On her Instagram, Maddie posted, "Never be a prisoner of your past. It was just a lesson, not a life lesson." And later, "It's not all the sunshine and rainbows, but a good amount of it actually is." If there had been strife, she wasn't letting it get her down. Then Mogen eventually got remarried to a woman who had her own struggles with drug addiction, as well as a criminal record that included earlier felony charge for an incident of theft that would haunt her record and set her up for probation violations. In middle age, her addictions led to arrest for possession, and she was briefly incarcerated at the time of the King Road murders. Ben would soon have a lot on his plate. If he looked through his daughter's Instagram, he might find that she had posted, "What a wonderful thought it is that some of the best days of our lives haven't happened yet." Not that he could easily believe that now with Maddie gone. Chapter 20. I swear when I come on here, I lose my voice. I wonder if I need one of those like machines that get put in moisture in the air. You know what I mean? I feel like it's dry in here maybe. Don't make me get one. I'll have to get one. Hey, Machachi, welcome in. Welcome in, everybody that I haven't said hello to. If you guys don't mind, take a second and hit the like button and we'll keep going. So chapter 20, the University of Idaho was far enough away for Maddie to feel like she was living on her own, but close enough for her to feel connected to family. She joined Phi, aka Pi Phi's, and began spending time with Xana Kernodle, the sorority sister she would later live with. She also met Jake Schreier her freshman year. Jake had multiple friends in the Pi Phi house, including Xana, and he had also gone to Lake City High School, but was a couple years older than Maddie. Somehow the two hadn't known each other until college. But then during Maddie's freshman year, midnight at the sorority, when a Greek house invites a new member to join, she encountered Jake while out celebrating with her new sorority sisters. The two began a friendship, and in the summer of 2020, they started spending quality time together. Jake had a boat, and they took it out on Payette Lake in the resort town of McCall, 4 hours south of Moscow. As Jake would ultimately say at her memorial, he had started to fall in love with Maddie during that time. By the end of the summer, he was living in an off-campus apartment that he would often invite the Pi Phi girls to so he could see Maddie. It wasn't until Valentine's Day of that school year that they had their first real date at a breakfast club in Moscow. 6 weeks later, they'd officially become boyfriend and girlfriend. They'd taken their time and it had been worth it. Maddie would often brag about what a catch Jake had been for her, and she would talk to friends about her very deep love for him. It went both ways. To Jake, Maddie was confident and beautiful, and he knew that he had been so lucky to find her in a sea of possibilities of each person's life. She knew her worth, Jake said through tears at her memorial, but also with a brief and fond laugh he tried to contain. I had to work for her. Later he added, she was a really good hugger. She was the person I loved the most, and she loved me the most too. Maddie had been the first person he'd spoken with each morning and the last person he'd spoken with each night. On April 27, 2022, Maddie posted a photo of herself and Jake at Watershed Country Music Festival in Washington State. Maddie in jean shorts and her pink cowboy boots, Jake without a shirt. They looked young and on fire for each other. 1 year with my best friend, Maddie wrote. Life is so much sweeter with you in it. Maddie was a marketing major on track to graduate right on schedule after making the dean's list each semester, and an even greater accomplishment given her busy social life and employment at Mad Greek Restaurant downtown. She also became the director of PR and marketing for her sorority on campus. When she moved into the King Road house, she decorated her room with things that were pink, so tiny like herself. The bright pink cowboy boots she wore to Watershed sat prominently on her windowsill. She and Jake would watch football games or movies together. Together, she never tired of The Princess Bride. She would put on her comfy socks and wrap herself in a blanket beside him. She liked being cozy. Me too, girl. Just over 5 months after Maddie's murder, Jake Schreier posted his own Instagram photo of the two of them, their faces side by side, sun-kissed and smiling. Happy 2-year, Maddie, he wrote. I miss you so much. The loss has been horrific, and Maddie's friends were feeling it too. One of her closest, Ashlyn, had known Maddie for only a few years, but during a December 2nd memorial service in post-fall, she recalled spending more days with her than without her. They had shared a room at Pi Phi, and later Ashlyn lived briefly at the King Road house where she celebrated her 21st birthday. Ashlyn recalled having big-ticket adventures with Maddie, but the most special moments they'd shared were the little ones. They woke up and made their coffees together, shared their agendas for each day, self-tanned on Wednesdays, listened to music while getting dressed together on Thursdays, and shared sweets after dinner. They wore matching bracelets and wrote each other notes. They danced to Yeah by Usher. They even shared a zip-up hoodie once on a cold night out, the two of their bodies smushed into it. We pretty much did everything together, Ashlyn said. Our weeks were like copy and paste there for a while. She fought back tears, conjuring what Maddie had meant to her. You grow up so much as a person on your own in college, Ashlyn said, but we got to grow together every step of the way. Going through the rest of her life without Maddie was going to be tough. I'm not only living for myself now, but for the rest of the life that Maddie wasn't able to live. Every chance she got, Ashlyn was going to do all the things that Maddie loved to do. She would watch the sunset, go to concerts, take road trips. I don't know what it is about y'all, but I swear my voice only does this when I go to read with you guys. So sorry. It says, and she would imagine Maddie looking down on her with a smile. She is going to be a busy girl up in heaven because she is now the guardian angel to some wild ones who really need her down here. Another of Maddie's friends, Sophia, was Maddie's big at their sorority. She loved her mom, Sophia said, through tears that shook her whole body during the memorial service. She always told me, don't you think my mom so cute and so pretty? Maddie's mom, Karen, would have done anything to give Maddie a better life, and Maddie knew it, Sophia said. At the memorial service, Karen stood at the podium beside Maddie's stepfather, Scott. She wore a pink top and held her husband's arm. Scott wore a pink tie. He spoke of watching football games with little Maddie and of Maddie laughing when he would pick her up each time the Steelers scored, or Maddie riding on boats or fishing with her family. She had been his and Karen's world. One that was a darker place now, he said. Eventually, he folded the pieces of paper he'd written his notes on. Karen had said nothing. The pain of speaking about her daughter into a microphone to the world seemed too much for her to bear. Not once did she let go of her husband's arm, as if she might have collapsed in grief without him there. Okay, chapter 21. Hey, Skull, thank you. Welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. Okay. So we're on chapter 21. The police were called again to 1122 King Road in the months before the murders, responding to another noise complaint, and this time it was Maddie they met. Just before 9 p.m. on September 1st, 2022, officers approached the front door and knocked loudly. The lights in the upper bedroom windows were like glowing white orbs in the night, and the downstairs bedroom windows had thin curtains pulled across them. Body cam footage showed police 3 officers and a ride-along observer had walked uphill towards the entry, their footsteps crunching on gravel. A ruckus banter and Okay, I think that's what this says. This is so sad, but we're going to see.
Raucous.
Yeah, okay. I don't know why it doesn't look like that, but they say ruckus banter emanated from inside the house. There was no overhead light at the door, which had only become visible with a flashlight pointed at it. A young woman answered the door almost immediately, light spilling out from the residence. She wore shorts and a summer top and appeared to be slightly intoxicated but pleasant. One of the officers asked to speak to somebody on the lease, whoever was in charge of the residence that night. Oh, was that? Okay, I thought I skipped 2 pages though. I can go get them real quick, the young woman said, closing the door on him. The front stoop went black again. A whole minute passed, nobody came back. Another of the officers lifted a backpack from the nearby gravel. It was heavy with cans. There's a lot of fucking alcohol in there, he said. One of the officers knocked loudly again 7 times. The noise inside died down, but still nobody answered. We're only here for a noise complaint, the officer shouted. Come to the damn door. Another officer giggled off camera. I could see that happening where I grew up. Soon all 3 officers circled the outside of the home, shining their flashlights. We're not leaving, an officer shouted towards a box fan ticking from a second-floor window. They'd seen shadows across the room. He shined his strobe through it, but nobody came to the window. We can also see you, another officer shouted through the window. Through a crease in the curtains of the front-facing kitchen window, another officer's body camera footage showed a set of golf clubs. Months later, the bag and clubs would be tagged as potential evidence, their removal from the house streaming on most major networks. The clubs and mattress stained with blood. Hunter Johnson and another student eventually answered the door for police. Hunter with his white necklace, a polo again, eyes bright and wide. The other, a boy with floppy hair and a t-shirt. So I just looked for everyone that lives here, and they're not here right now, Hunter said. No one's here that lives here at all. The disbelieving but practiced officer waited patiently. No one's here that lives here, Hunter repeated. Another officer interjected. So everyone here is trespassing? Well, no one's here that's trespassing, but no one's here that lives here right now. I have no clue where they went, no clue. Hunter's mannerisms and speech suggested he wasn't sober, so they left and went over to some other party. His friend spoke over him. He too wore a white necklace and had a surfer boy look. Who does live here? Another officer asked. What are their names? I am actually not sure, Hunter's friend said. I live across the street. I just came over. I haven't drank a drop. Male, female, a cop with a beard asked. I think it's mainly females, Hunter's friend said. I think it's like 4 females. Hunter said nothing, shaking his head as if he hadn't a clue. What sorority are they affiliated with? The officer asked. I don't know, the other kid said. I don't know, Hunter also said. I am not stupid, the officer eventually told them. Hunter smiled. The officer pressured them further, patient but stern. I'd rather deal with this as a noise complaint than get a hold of the Greek council and the Greek board and all of that and the dean of students and playing all of these stupid fucking games. He shined his flashlight at the backpack of booze on the ground, adding an implicit threat. I guarantee you there's a lot of underage drinking here. Do you want us to try to get a name or a phone number? The boy with Hunter asked. If you could, the cop said. The 2 boys went inside. The cop started emptying the backpack of its alcohol, opening and then pouring what looked like a dozen cans of Truly vodka seltzer into the weeds. A few moments later, Hunter Johnson returned and held out an iPhone to the police. Maddie Mogan's name was on the screen, glowing in the dark in Hunter's hand. Okay, so that just makes me laugh right there because the cop was like, you dumbass. He's got her programmed into his phone. Right? Like, he's like, I don't know who lives here. Here she is. He's like, I don't want to get in trouble. An officer took the phone and put her on speaker. Can you hear me, Maddie? Yes, I can hear you. Her voice was like Kaylee's talking into the phone, business casual and sober sounding. Do you live at 1122 Queen Street? The officer had confused Queen with King as they intersected just beyond the property. Maddie didn't correct him. Yes, I do. The reason that we're here is that we've received a noise complaint of loud music partying. Once we approached the house, people started running away. They left a bunch of alcohol behind. We're not even coming for the alcohol. We're coming for the noise complaint. Maddie remained silent, listening. The officer seemed old enough to be her father. Eventually, he scolded her. You have a house full of random people. He was saying that Maddie needed to be careful without exactly saying it. He issued Maddie a verbal warning for the noise violation. He told her she needed to come home. Chapter 22. At the University of Idaho Vigil for his daughter, a special event held to assist students through the mourning process, Ben Mogen wore a gray suit, the jacket buttoned tightly across his sturdy chest. His cropped haircut, chiseled jawline, and prominent goatee made him look tough. The voice he soon addressed the crowd with was anything but. He approached the podium and shakily unfolded a piece of paper filled with prepared remarks, which he would eventually stray from. His breathing was shallow. His body appeared stiffened by grief. The air seemed sucked out of the room by Ben Mogan's obvious pain. He shifted his balance from knee to knee and hooked his thumbs into his front pockets of his suit pants, jiggling them with nervousness. Maddie May, she was having only just begun. He already stopped to catch his breath. She was Karen and my only child that we ever had, he finally said. He then struggled through a list of beautiful things about Maddie that he could remember at the moment. Her happiness, her intelligence. She was funny. She was delightful, the perfect little baby. On the network streaming the event, an Instagram photo of Maddie filled the screen. She wore a bright white summer dress in a wooded park setting. She was tan, leaning slightly backward, her blonde hair draping across one shoulder for the photo. Ben Mogan smiled nervously. He spoke of how he used to show Maddie's photo to explain who he was to new acquaintances who wanted to get to know him. Well, I have this daughter, he'd say. He'd tell them she was on the dean's list at college, that she worked hard, that she had great friends. There was often nothing noteworthy about himself that he felt like sharing other than his adoration for Maddie, which new people in his life tended to learn a lot about. We loved going to see live music, he said. That's always been my favorite thing to do, and so I started taking her to concerts when she was younger. We saw some really good shows together. He explained that Maddie was upset when the popular musician Mac Miller was touring nearby and she couldn't get tickets because the concert had sold out. Ben had desperately wanted to surprise Maddie with tickets to the show, the one she later posted about on Instagram. And I didn't know what I was going to do, he said into the microphone, but his smile widened and the pace of his storytelling picked up. And I entered all these radio station contests, and like the night before it happened, I won 4 tickets and I got to bring her and her friends, and they were meet and greet tickets. After the show, he and Maddie and her friends had been introduced to Mac Miller, he explained. What are the odds? You know what I mean? What are the odds of that happening? Like, your daughter wants to like go to this concert so bad, and you want to make it happen, but there's no tickets to buy, like, right? Sold out. And so he wins this radio contest. That's amazing. Good for him. My dog's like back here doing something. What are you doing? Oh, she just scratching herself, she said. She told me to mind my own business. That was one of the happiest memories Ben had of being Maddie's dad, coming through for her in the clutch. And he loved seeing her excitement for live music match his own. Ben was a man who cared about the little things, and he loved that his daughter did too. Many in the audience listening to him were holding one another close. With heartache in his voice, he spoke about Maddie's boyfriend, Jake, whom she'd been dating for almost a year at the time of the murder. It was her first real relationship. I am so glad that she got to have at least a little taste of what it's like to be in love with someone. And he choked on tears. He's just a really great guy. They treated each other the way you're supposed to, and more tears came, but he pushed through them. I was really proud to call him my daughter's boyfriend, and maybe someday they would have gotten married, He looked downward, then added without looking up, it seemed like it, at least. After the vigil, Maddie's father returned to his home full of acoustic guitars, the 2 jobs he worked, the counseling sessions he attended. He'd been at the movies by himself on November 13th when Maddie's mother called to tell him about the murders. Because he was in the theater, he hadn't responded right away. Then his own mother called and he knew something was wrong. He and Maddie's mother had cried together that day on the phone. The horror was unspeakable. The first Christmas without Maddie was excruciating. The snow had been falling like crazy in North Idaho, but he couldn't enjoy its beauty. His girl was gone, and no one knew who had taken her life. Eventually, Ben walked into a tattoo shop in Spokane Valley in Washington State, just across the border from Coeur d'Alene, and sat down for his first tattoo ever. A set of angel wings to match the tattoo Maddie and several of her sorority sisters had gotten. Aww. His father and stepfather, both in their 70s, joined him. I didn't know that. That's so adorable. So the stepfather, his father and stepfather and him all got him. Oh. In the tattoo parlor, they rolled up their short sleeves. Within minutes, the small black stencil of Maddie's wings had been inked into Ben's arms. Ben's arm. Part 5. Oh, you're welcome, Jenna. Thank you. I appreciate that. My belly just growled. There's no way. I just ate before I came on. I just read I won't eat regular bologna until my stomach growled jogging. I don't even eat bologna. I haven't had bologna in years. It's been years. Well, that's awesome, Mary Beth. But don't take on any more right now. Just say you want to get the feel of things, because I'm telling you, I'm scared of retail and like food. I always get nervous because like if you learn like more than one thing, they'll make you do it all the time. They will. I ain't kidding you. I'm like, where'd my book go? I forgot I wasn't on that part of the page. So sorry. So we're on part 5. We're going to read through part 5. I don't know how long. It's different in here, but I just want to know how many chapters to part 5. Okay, there's Oh, wait. I went back. So I was going back to part. Okay, so part 5 isn't even that long. Okay. It doesn't seem like it's that long. So let's keep it going. Okay. So, chapter 23. Xana Kernodle grew up in Post Falls, nestled in the heavily wooded Coeur d'Alene Mountains halfway to Washington State on the winding Spokane River. She had an older sister, Jasmine, a confident in her early years, although the girl's parents, Jeff and Kara, didn't last long together. In Xana's younger years, Jeff was briefly incarcerated on drug-related charges. Xana's mother was frequently incarcerated as well, even reportedly just weeks after Xana's birth. For a time when Xana and her sisters were still very young, both parents were in trouble at once, and the girls needed to live with relatives. Xana's Aunt Kim, a big-hearted church-going Christian, took them in. Her own children were grown, and she raised Xana and Jasmine for just under 2 years in Post Falls, loving them both dearly and offering the structure that they had been missing from their lives. Raising her nieces felt like a blessing to Kim. She'd had fun with the girls. Xana had been a joyful and impish child, her aunt recalled. On one occasion when Xana was small, Kim was looking for her in the house and found her hiding out in the bathroom. She found my Crisco, Kim said of Xana during the Post Falls memorial service on December 2nd, and she wiped it all over her body like it was body lotion. She laughed at that memory. The bathroom had been covered in Crisco as well. Okay, I'm going to tell you a little Crisco story real quick. Okay, so if you put, what was it? What is it? Something that you could put in your hair. Mayonnaise. Or it was like something like that, right? This was way back in the day. You could put like mayonnaise in your hair, something like that. Well, I thought it was Crisco. Don't know where I got that. Don't know where I confused the two, but oh my gosh. Just imagine how long that took to get out of my hair. I mean, it took like a week of washing it like 20 times a day. Like, I mean, we couldn't get it out. Crisco. So I have my own Crisco story. Oh. Wonder if there's anybody else that's put Crisco on their bodies or in their hair. Or if they just ate a bunch of it. They lived in a house with squeaky floorboards, and the two girls slept in the room together. Many nights, Xana liked to stay awake past her bedtime, getting out of bed to horse around. On Kim, Xana, won't you go to bed? And she's keeping me up. Jasmine would complain from their room down the hall. Kim would get out of her own bed to investigate, but her steps creaking along the floorboards would alert Xana to her immediate arrival. Just see her like jumping back in the bed. So. And I hope everything's okay wandering. Every time she could hear Xana's little feet scurrying back to bed, and by the time Kim had reached the children's room, Xana would be back under her covers pretending nothing happened. It became a game that they played together after a while. The girl's mother continued to struggle with drugs and the fallout of addiction, but eventually their father put the pieces of his life back together, and Xana and Jasmine went to live with him. He stayed healthy, and the stability lasted. The girls became active in sports at a young age, and Xana was a standout gymnast in her late elementary and junior high years. Todd McLean was her gymnastic coach at Flip Factory Gymnastics in North Idaho for about 6 years, and his daughter Sydney was one of Xana's best friends during that time. Xana's dad, divorced from the girl's mom by now, was working his job in construction and working hard to raise the children alone. The schedule was hectic for him, and Xana would go from gymnastics straight to her coach's home until her father could pick her up after work. If you had spent 5 minutes with her, you would fall in love with her, her coach told an ABC reporter about those years. She just loved everybody, and she was so witty, so funny, she would have drawn you in. McLean's daughter, now a gymnastics coach herself at McLean's new academy in Florida, agreed. She was just the funniest person, Sydney said of Xana during her early years when they were close, sharing gymnastics and a deep friendship. If you were with her, you were laughing the whole time. When Sydney heard about Xana's murder, she'd been preparing for an evening training session with her students. The news was crushing, and then I coached. I was a hot mess all night watching the girls, she told a reporter. because it's kind of like watching me and Xana's relationship, the relationship they have with each other. She could remember Xana as the little girl in a blue and white leotard, bows holding back her hair, the two of them together, sometimes wearing their medals around their necks after a weekend competition. We were really, really close in middle school, Sydney told News Nation. I always knew I could count on her even now. She hesitated, her breath catching. It's just a lot, she said. One of the thousands of photos of Xana circulating online after her murder, she looked happy in each. In her TikTok videos, she was dancing or laughing, performing skits. She was jumping. She was holding out her arms, just like in the gymnastics photos of herself as a little girl. She was still little, smiling at the camera in her Instagram photos. It's almost like losing another daughter, Sydney's father told ABC. His eyes were bloodshot with sadness. Same age as my daughter. This could have been her. Chapter 24. When Xana and Jasmine were growing up, many people thought they were twins, even though Jasmine was 2 years older. They had the same high cheekbones, the warm-toned skin, the long dark hair that hung straight down. When Xana was older, she wore half shirts and high-waisted shorts in the summer, Carhartt beanies in the winter, her hair braided into long pigtails tucked into the collar of her puffy coat. She painted her nails red for formals, drank beer out of plastic cups, wore a scrunchie on her wrist sometimes. Oh, shoot. Her personality was magnetic, and Jasmine would often get upset when the two were teenagers because she thought her own friends liked Xana more than they liked Jasmine herself. Xana's friend Emily had a big sister who was friends with Jasmine, and the two older girls would side-eye their younger siblings for grabbing all the attention and for genuinely being more cool. It was just an undeniable fact. The older siblings thought one they begrudgingly learned to deal with. Now, Emily now remembered Xana through a stream of tears at the post-falls service. She was my other half, Emily said. Everyone knew we were a 2-in-1 deal. They had been friends since the day they'd met. She was an amazing friend, comedian, pop star, therapist, sister, girlfriend, and daughter. The girl was the light in everyone's life. Emily constantly told Xana how much she loved her. After high school, they'd gone to different colleges, but still made time to see each other as often as possible. One time, Xana had even convinced Emily to drive to Moscow during a snowstorm because the two girls were missing each other. Emily says Xana guilt-tripped her into the journey, complaining that they never had enough time together. Each time Emily would visit the U of I, Xana would show her friend off as if for the first time, even though everybody had already met her before. She would reintroduce me and then introduce me again to all of her college friends as this is my best friend. She's Asian, as if they couldn't figure that one out. Emily smiled through her tears. Probably don't have maybe there's not a lot of Asian like culture there. I mean, they are in northern Idaho, you know? That's so funny. She always told me that if she were to die tomorrow, Emily said, the tears flowing more heavily, she would be okay with it because she had lived every day to the fullest. Not that she really believed that was a possibility. She knew she was going to make it big one day, Emily said, at something. She told me that if she ever got famous, she would bring me along to enjoy that life with her. That's sweet. Go live every day. You guys. That's how I go live every day. Y'all. Y'all showing up. If you guys didn't show up, I probably wouldn't go live every day. I'd be sad. Their lives had seemed to offer endless possibilities and endless years. We talked about our dream wedding and how we were going to be each other's bridesmaids. We talked about what kind of moms we were going to be. I always said I wanted 3 kids, and she said she'll probably be the single one and have no kids because she'll be the cool aunt. She choked on her words. Life is so unfair and unpredictable. My heart aches knowing I can't see her again in this lifetime. What are you doing with those ears back there, lady? That's my dog with her ears. If you can hear the chain, like her little chains. She only has one chain on, but it's like her little metal things that she has to have on. The cool aunt, it made perfect. Now that same dog. I'm like, what is she doing? What are you doing, man? Oh, we just getting comfortable? Okay, she's just getting comfortable. Sorry, guys. The cool aunt, it made perfect sense. Xana had never forgotten all of her Aunt Kim had done for her when her parents couldn't cope. While Xana was growing up, her mom had more than 40 interactions with the police in North Idaho. Most were for possession of drugs or drug paraphernalia, but some were more serious. She once been convicted of injury to a child for exposing her daughters to her drug use. Kara wasn't a violent woman, but she was struggling. It showed in her mugshots, her face progressively skinnier with age, but also with the wear and tear that comes from prolonged substance abuse, her long hair getting grayer at the temples, her eyes more sunken. She was infrequently in Xana's life, but she was still her mother. Kara's Facebook page, like many mothers of a certain era, often reflected her love for her children. What did your daughter inherit from you? Read the caption of a 2019 name test post that she tagged Xana in. Name test offered a quasi-spiritual astrological reading comparing a mother and daughter's names. It says, just like you, Xana is incredibly genuine and loving. Kara's results read. It's like, those Facebook tests, like quiz you can take, and all you do is just like tag the person in it, and then it like does the quiz for you. That's what this is. She has inherited your heart of gold and has seen how happy you are when you can help your loved ones. But she has also learned from you how to be fearless and face your face of challenges. Your strong nonconformist personality has inspired her to never lose her fighting spirit or pride in who she is. Xana's mom was trying. There were photos of her children and of her looking healthy as recently as 2019. Xana had been her little girl, even if she couldn't care for her the way that she had wanted to. She had watched Xana from afar, proud of her gymnastics accomplishments and her durable spirit when she was younger, and proud of the woman Xana had been growing into. At one point that year, Kara posted, "One of the best feelings in the world is when you hug someone you love and they hug you back even tighter." 3 years later, her daughter was dead and Kara had relapsed. Days after the murder, she was back in jail. Chapter 25. While in high school in Post Falls, Xana was on the volleyball track and soccer teams. She held down a job as well, working as a server at the Coeur d'Alene, Texas Roadhouse between the Dollar Tree and the Red Lobster. The view from the restaurant's parking lot was less suburban. Just beyond were the rolling green foothills leading into the Coeur d'Alene National Forest and its 750,000 acres, which were among the most pristine in America, home to grizzly bears, wolves, cougars, and wolverines. What's going on? I'm so sorry, guys. Let me move it over here. Goodness. Xana's home with her sister and father. I'm going to take these collars off whenever they come in here. They're loud. They're just trying to be part of the show. They just want to be seen. That's all. Xana's home with her sister and father and their dog Shoeshine was modest and tidy with 4 bedrooms, dark hardwood floors, and a backyard with a green fenced-in lawn. Life with her father now was completely different than it had been in Xana's younger days. Jeff had started his own firm, Kernodle Construction, building anything from small engineered decks to large, impressive houses with spiral staircases. He took the girls on family vacations, which Xana loved, and in time, her lifestyle was similar to the comfortable one she lived with her Aunt Kim. She graduated from Post Falls high school in 2020, and by late that summer had moved to Moscow, where she was majoring in marketing at the U of I and joined the Pi Theta Phi sorority. At Pi Phi, she became close to another freshman, a girl named Ella, who said after Xana's death that Xana cared about her relationships more than anything else and that it's the best quality anyone can have. At the Post Falls Memorial, Ella remembered the time at the end of their freshman year, after many of the other students had gone home for the summer, when she and Xana decided that it would be a blast to get a kiddie pool and try to swim in it. The Moscow heat was already scorching. They found a blow-up pool at a local store, then ran across the parking lot with it over their heads and stuffed it into Ella's car. They spent that day and many others that summer soaking in the shin-deep water the pool held. Actual swimming, they discovered right away, wasn't an option. It's not much, but it's about the little things and the spontaneous things that don't seem interesting, but they become the best days of your life because of the people you're around, Ella said. A lot of my best days had Xana there. At the Mad Greek in downtown Moscow, a small family-owned restaurant where both Xana and Maddie worked, a coworker named Isla, I don't know if that's how you say it, but hadn't gotten the chance to know either of the two girls well, but they had trained her when she was first hired, and she remembers Xana as kind and helpful. Both she and Maddie were sweet, a hint of tears in her eyes. Soon after she started at the restaurant, Isla would be wearing a black rubber memorial bracelet on her left wrist, the names of the 4 murdered victims, including her coworkers, printed in the university's signature golden yellow. The same bracelet appeared on the wrist of the daytime bartender at the corner club, a girl with blonde hair who slightly resembled Maddie, and on the wrist of baristas in local coffee shops, students walking through campus, pedestrians in town hurrying to their jobs or stepping into stores or getting into their cars. The yellow of the font matched the yellow flowers Xana held in photographs, a small sunflower behind her ear in one as she posed beside a river, her hair draping forward over a halter top, dappled sunlight on the water. Chapter 26. I don't know how many chapters were in this, actually. I looked and then I forgot to even remember. It doesn't matter, but I'm just curious. So I don't read it too fast or too slow for you guys. So part 5. Okay. Oh yeah, there's only 27, so this is 26. So Xana appeared in police body cam footage when the Moscow PD were once again called to 1122 King Road after a noise complaint just after midnight on September 2nd, 2022, less than 4 hours after their warning to Maddie over the phone. Country singer Lee Brice played over an outdoor Bluetooth speaker on the second floor patio around the back of the house. A young man stood on the patio with his back to the approaching officer, who spotlighted the area with his flashlight. Moscow PD, the officer announced. A young woman tried to go back inside through the slider. Turn the music down, the officer now shouted up from the weeds. They didn't. He shouted it again, gesturing with his flashlight. Oh, thank you, levitating elephant. That's so sweet. Thank you. And welcome in. And then on Wednesdays, we wear pink. It is all that, Ashley. Am I wearing pink? I'm not. Damn me. Whenever people were calling me Gretchen Wiener, I did put that on my page one day, though. Just as a joke. I had a picture of me and wearing a pink shirt. Thought it was funny. So where are we at? The young man on the patio kept his back to the officer, who then added, "The music stays off, party's over." He was pissed. The officer clicked his flashlight off, walking past Xana's bedroom on the second floor and then past Bethany Funk's on the first floor as the ground sloped downward towards the communal parking area. No. I think this guy got this wrong too. Okay. The officer and his partner stood at the front door in the dark at first. When Xana eventually opened it, the officer shone his flashlight at her. She was barefoot, wearing black shorts and a red hoodie, her identification in her hand. Her eyes looked wobbly in their sockets as if searching for rest. "Hello," she said. "Hello, miss. What's your name?" the officer asked. "Xana," she said pleasantly. "Xana," the officer repeated back to her, his flashlight in her eyes. "Do you live here?" "Yes," she pushed her hair out of her face. The officer clicked his flashlight off, walking past Xana's bedroom. Oh, sorry. I thought I didn't click that, but okay. "Did Megan talk to you earlier?" "No." "Okay. Does Megan live here?" Xana looked confused. "Megan?" The officer partner checked his notepad. "Megan Mogan?" "Maddie Mogan, yes," Xana said. "Maddie Mogan," the first officer corrected himself. "She does live here?" Xana seemed caught off guard, searching for words, possibly intoxicated. Sorry, she is at the club. She's 21. I am just going to bed. I have a couple of friends over, but this is my ID. She began to show the police officer her driver's license, turning it over in her hand and staring at it. But the officers didn't appear interested. Have you talked to Maddie tonight? The first cop repeated. Yes, I have, Xana said, the flashlight in her eyes. She's at the corner club. Okay, did she tell you anything about anything that happened earlier or anything like that? Honestly, not really. I just been here just trying to go to bed. In the hot, wide beam of the officer's flashlight, Xana's fingers clutching her ID made shadows against the siding of the house. The officer took her ID finally and handed it to his partner. Xana seemed more nervous than the situation called for, but then she'd grown up with police encounters that didn't necessarily end well. She again explained that she was not 21, but that her roommates were. We're not here to talk about the alcohol stuff, the officer told her. Okay, yeah, Xana seemed to relax finally. But this is the second noise complaint that we've had here tonight. I'm sorry, Xana said. So this time it was the blonde gal and the guy on the back porch playing music. I sincerely apologize, Xana told him. I am just going to bed, so okay, just so you understand, you could be getting a misdemeanor citation for this, which means you have to go in front of a judge and explain why you couldn't keep the people in your house quiet. Okay, Xana said, we've already talked to Maddie once, and the only reason she's not getting a ticket is because she's not standing here in front of me. But I'm telling you right now, if we have to come back, you're getting a ticket. Okay, so I'm not right now, Xana asked him. I'm fine right now. That when she said that part, I mean, it did make me giggle because, you know, she just is young. So it probably was very reassuring to her. And it says, you're not getting a ticket right now. I'm just trying to go to bed. Okay. I mean, I understand you guys are coming here. I'm just going. She gesticulated, awkwardly, struggling for the next words. Her body seemed to be low balance from exhaustion. We could hear you from clear down the road when we were coming up here, the officer told her as a final word. I am so sorry, Xana said. We're past the point of having polite conversations, okay? Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Xana told him. Eventually, the officer's partner pointed to an upstairs window and asked, is the blonde gal and guy up there, are they roommates too? He was pointing to Dylan Mortenson's second floor bedroom. I'm sorry, what? I don't know. He repeated, the blonde gal, and I think that he's thinking in the living room. And the guy that's upstairs, are they roommates too? None of my roommates are home, Xana said. Those are all my friends. Before leaving, the first officer asked Xana, do you understand 100% what's going to happen? I understand, Xana said. Xana said, I'm just going to tell everyone, get the fuck out of here. The two police officers eventually turned back towards the driveway. You take care, one said to her. They snapped their flashlights off and the body cam footage went black. Chapter 27. Yeah, I don't think that it was like, so when he's pointing up, they're in front of the house, right? So that would have been the living room. He's saying that would have been like Dylan's bedroom was in the back. Are you talking about the dogs? Or are you talking about Xana? So I'm not sure. I'm like, because my dogs were acting up, but we've been talking about Xana. So. Oh, sorry, baby girl. Okay. I'm about to pull that up. Let me see if I can find it. This isn't like the full. Maybe we can watch this afterwards. Like there's Trying to go through it to see, like, yeah, it only shows a little bit. It doesn't even show like up top. So I can always pull something up. Okay. So we'll read this and then we'll do that. So chapter 27, Xana's mother, who sometimes went, sorry, just get my coughing out of my system before we start. Okay. Says, who sometimes went by the name Xana Kernodle, but more often Kara Northington, was arrested on drug-related charges in the days after Xana's murder. While detained in the Kootenai County Jail in Coeur d'Alene, Kara was provided with a public defender and Taylor, who would serve as her legal counsel as she navigated her complicated court processes. Taylor had also represented Madison Mogan's family after similar drug-related brushes with the law. This wasn't unusual in the small town and sometimes claustrophobic legal systems of the far north, where very few attorneys chose to live. Northington was kept up to speed on the King Road homicide investigation by following the news from jail, but in December, the courts allowed Kara temporary release to attend the memorial service held for Xana and the other 3 victims at a Post Falls church. Xana's older sister, Jasmine, spoke to a large audience from the podium, reading from notes on her cell phone. She was my baby sister, but she was so much wiser and experienced, so much more in life than I have ever have. Jasmine said of Xana, eventually adding through sniffles, she was so positive and lighthearted and understood the gift of life more than anyone I know. Standing beside her, Xana's father, Jeff, kept his head down, hands deep in his pockets. I was so happy that she was dating Ethan, Jasmine said. Xana had never had a boyfriend before, and my dad and I wondered if she was ever going to get one. She smiled at the memory of her sister finding love with Ethan. The way she would talk and smile about him was something I had never seen her do before. She truly loved him so much, and I know she had so much love for her, that he had so much love for her. After a beat, she added about all 4 of the victims, so comforting to know that they are all watching down on us from heaven now. Jasmine was in tears by the time she ended her remarks. I love you so much, Xana, she said. When she finished, she hugged her father. Jeff spoke next. That kid shone light to the day, he said of Xana, smiling as he fought back tears. She taught me how to be a dad, and I didn't know that until she was gone. Xana's sister stood beside him, sometimes shaking with sadness while listening to her dad. She really became the woman she was going to become, he added. The last time he had seen Xana was a week before the murder. He had visited Moscow for the weekend and stayed in a nearby hotel. He had fixed the broken lock on the front door of the King Road residence for Xana and her roommates, according to Xana's mother, who had reportedly been in contact with Xana recently. The house had looked clean. Xana was taking care of business so far as Jeff was concerned. She was even looking after him, he told the mourners after he'd consumed alcohol during their visit. Xana had taken the car keys away from him. You had too much to drink, Dad. You can't drive, Xana told him. We'll get you a ride to your hotel. He smiled at the memory of Xana being the responsible one, and that wasn't unusual, he remarked, but she would often look after her roommates too. She was being the mom to all the kids. Xana, whose mom had been missing for much of her life, had learned how to nurture and protect others. He was happy to see that everything was just about as good as it could ever have been, he said. Xana's mother did not make public remarks at the memorial. Instead, Kara fled, then got high for 4 days. She was rearrested but remained free on her own recognizance while awaiting further court dates. She did not appear for those dates. She why can I not read tonight? This word, I can't read it. You guys know this in the chat, and I don't. You be putting it in there for me. Absconded. What's absconded mean? We're gonna look it up. I just need to know. Past tense. Oh wait, no, here it is. Leave hurriedly, and secretly. Oh man, you could have put that. You could have put that. She absconded to Spokane, Washington, where she reportedly got a hotel room and again got high on methamphetamine and fentanyl. That's what it is. This whole time I thought it was something else. Oh, I really did. I thought it was the H. Like at the same time? Yeah, you guys didn't know that? Yeah, I knew that they did let her out for Xana's memorial and she skipped. And yeah. While she was on the run, News Nation was able to get a hold of her on her cell phone. That's why she was in the car, I bet. She spoke to them on a split screen from inside a vehicle. That's why. Oh, her voice sounded grainy and full of pain. She wore a bandana on her head and looked malnourished. Her eyes were sunken. What appeared to be her life's belongings were stuffed into the back seat, the neck of a guitar poking into the frame. She choked on her tears. Are you going to be all right? The anchor Ashley Banfield asked her. You spelled her name wrong. I hope so, Kara said. Eventually, Kara was apprehended and returned to Kootenai County. The Daily Mail spoke to her from the jail. I relapsed after my daughter's killing, she told them. Then 4 days after that, I got picked up on new charges. Then I didn't go to my next court date because I was still getting high. Somewhere along the road, Xana's mom had taken a few wrong turns. Now it was hard to find her way back. She was suffering from drug withdrawal in jail and still trying to wrap her head around what happened to her daughter. It's a fucking nightmare, Northington cried into the phone. I bet it is. I bet it is. I couldn't imagine, like you're in jail. That's already like terrible. Coming off of that stuff, those two things, nope, not a day in my life. I couldn't imagine that. And then throw on top of that, your daughter just been murdered. I mean, nope. Jeff Kernodle, too, was hounded by the press for interviews. He allowed his local station, the Avondale, Arizona, to ask him a few questions over the phone. He was reportedly too distraught to appear on camera. His answers were brief. He had last heard from Xana the night of the murders, he told the station, at midnight, and she was fine. Her death was still so hard to comprehend. He had found minor solace in the autopsy report he had been shown. Xana had apparently fought back against the killer. There were bruises on her arms. She was a tough kid, her dad said. He gave no more interviews. And now we're on part 6. Well, we did pretty good. Hour and 17 minutes. Did pretty good. Yeah. Levitating elephant. That's one. I wish she could get the help that she needs. I wish that she had that motivation. Like, you know what I mean? Like you have to want it, one of those type of things. And I don't think she's there yet. Just as recently as a few months ago, she had an active warrant. So, because I look it up every once in a while. It's under the Nez Pierce, county jail site. I might even have it right up. I don't, but I have this. What's this? It says, oh, I don't want to leave. Not this page. Okay. I did find. Oh, this is just about. This is her dad's interview. I was like, what is? Yeah, that's what this is. Okay. I just have like little tabs up here and it's like, what are these? What's this? Oh, these are just the warrants and stuff. I was like, what is this? I don't know. I did find some stuff out on the DoorDasher. There's another video that's come out. It was from before the homicide, so I don't see what the relevance is to anything personally. But there are documents that say exactly what happened. So we could always go over those in the next couple of days as well, or, today, tomorrow. Trying to think. Oh, this is from June 18th, 2022. Like the documents are And then I'm going to listen to that bill. It was bad. Like, I mean, within like the first 2 minutes, I'm like, oh my good God, this is just bad. Like, it's just, I mean, people come out in this case, they used to come out all the time. They don't come out as often anymore, but we used to get like, do you need me here? Do you want me to pick them? Want me to put them back? Here, want some air in there? They're so big. There you go. Does that feel good? I think she just wanted her ears back. Oh, she just wanted her ears put back a little bit. She got right back in her chair. So cute. It's not legal in Utah. Oh man, it should be legal everywhere. That's She has to want the help. Oh, she does want that. Well, that's good. I thought you meant like she doesn't want the help, like what I was talking about. Well, good. Hit that like button, everybody. I was going to tell you guys some more stuff too. I was just trying to think of. Let me see. I'm trying to think of what I need. If I needed to, like, if I wanted to go over any of this stuff tonight, there's like a lot of stuff. There wasn't any new documents today. I looked. I'm double looking right now. I'm double checking, triple checking. Nothing for Pennsylvania. Oh wait, son of a. Okay, what's this? We did get a new document. That's weird. That's really weird. I swear I checked. Not. We don't have one for Idaho. We have one in Pennsylvania courts, but like, I just checked this. So that's so weird. So today is the 25th. Okay, I'm going to share this page with you too, because that's so weird. Are they filing these at home? Right here. Like, this is a new one. But we already know who Parham is. I have to look it up. Because I have them all wrote down. Like, you know who they are. But it does say we already have a summons for her. I'm gonna. Okay, we'll go through it. We'll see. I mean, I don't think that they like, this isn't an amended or anything. So it's not like they put anything on it. But we'll check it out. Because I'm curious. Okay. No, I gotta go find. Okay. So let me blow it up a little bit for you guys. But it says here, order issuing summons for Ann Parham to testify in out-of-state criminal case. And she is the academic advisor. So it says, and now this 25th day of June, 2025, upon consideration of the petition for summons directing witness Ann Parham to attend and testify in out-of-state criminal proceedings, Judge Stephen Hippler's sealed certificate pursuant to 42 PA gives the code. The agreed motion to summon witness Ann Parham and cancel hearing on the petition for summons and the declaration of Ann Parham filed in support thereof, the court finds as follows. One, Ann Parham is a material and necessary witness in a criminal proceeding pending before the district court for the 4th Judicial District of the state of Idaho. 2, compelling the attendance and testimony of Ann Parham will not cause undue hardship to her. I would say you don't tell me that. Like, I mean, it would. It's just a fly clear across the country. Like, what do you mean that's not going to put hardship on her? What if she has like a baby or something? What if she's like in the middle of breastfeeding or something? I'm just saying women do. She's going to take her baby with her. I don't know. I think that would be a good excuse to not have to go. That's just me, you know. or you're pregnant. I don't know what the guys are going to say, but got a couple for the ladies. The laws of the state of Idaho, where the prosecution is pending in any and of any other state through which Ann Parham may be required to pass an ordinary course of travel, provided protection to her from arrest and from the service of civil or criminal process while traveling to, attending, and returning from the proceeding. This sounds like what we read last time, because she's getting her get out of jail free card too. Now, I want one. All of these witnesses, it says it in all of them, like, if she's driving and taking, like, travel to there, like, don't, like, no civil or criminal. What if she's bringing, like, a crap load of, like, narcotics with her? I don't know. That just is crazy to me. But for these reasons, it is hereby ordered as follows. A summons is issued. Okay, we know that part. And then this gives the PA statute. Ann Parham is ordered to attend and testify in the court proceedings pending in the state of Idaho before the Honorable Stephen Hippler of the District Court for the 4th Judicial District of the state of Idaho on the dates of trial. The trial begins on August 11th. Well, I think that if it wasn't going to, we probably wouldn't be seeing this document right now, right? August 11th, 2025, and ends on November 7th, 2025. The specific date for her appearance shall be communicated to Ann Parham by Judge Hippler or Ann Taylor Law. Okay, so she's for Ann. Now let's put it, we're going to put defense witness by her name. I think they're going to be all for the defense, but I'm going to start just keeping count, just taking count. And then it says right here, ex parte sealed certificate of an Idaho district judge. Certificate pursuant to Idaho Code. Pursuant to Idaho Code, and after considering the motion of the defendant in the affidavit of Elisa Massif, the District Court of the 4th Judicial District of the state of Idaho in and for the county of Ada, being otherwise fully advised, hereby certifies as follows. Why is this such crappy ink on here? 1, the 4th District Court in Ada County is constitutionally and statutorily a court of record in the state of Idaho. There is a criminal proceeding pending before this court at case number CR0101-24-31665. 3, the defendant in this case is charged with 4 counts of a murder in the first degree. That's going to be Idaho Code 4001, 4002, 4003, and 4004, and 1 count of burglary. Idaho Code 18-1401 or 1401-14003. Under Idaho law, that is punishable by death. 4, I am the judge assigned to preside over the trial scheduled to begin on August 11th, 2025 at 8:30 a.m. through November 7th, 2025. Ann Parham, a person within the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, is a material witness in this case for the defendant. For the reasons stated in the affidavit of Elisa Massif, the presence of Ann Parham is required at the Ada County Courthouse in Boise, Idaho. I can't wait to see when this was dated, because we just got it today, but I'm going to see when it was dated. Under the laws of the Idaho or the state of Idaho, Idaho Code 19-3005, if Ann Parham comes into the state in obedience of the summons requiring his presence at this trial, he will not be subject to arrest or service of any process relating to matters that arose before he entered the state under the summons. Okay. Oh, this is back from March 13th. Okay. This certificate is made for the express purpose of being presented to a judge of court of record in the state of Pennsylvania in support of order to compel the attendance of Ann Parham at the time and place for the reasons stated above. Now, I wonder why these are like this is like from March 13th. Like, I wonder why we're just now getting them today. Maybe because they're getting ready to go to court in a couple of days. Got to get out all the documents. I don't know. But yeah. Pretty exciting. I'm ready for them to go to court. No. I never did figure out who Maggie Sanders and Anthony Soma was. But Anthony that sounds like someone that knew him, one of the people that he ran the school with, ran in school with for some reason. But it could be something else. Let me go over here and see if there's anything when I put in his name. It's just talking about the DoorDasher. It doesn't say anywhere like what those people were either, like what their deal is. Okay, so like Jesse Harris owns the boxing gym. Ann Parham is the academic advisor. Ralph Vecchio worked for Colonial Auto Sales. He might be for the state. I don't know. Maggie Sanders, Anthony Soma, and then William Serafos, and that's the former jail guard. And then Brandon Andriola, and he went to Northampton Community College with Coburger. That's what I've gotten to so far. I'll go over and see if there's like anything on X, maybe, but we'll be surprised. Wait, how is this? Okay, I'm not even looking at that. Okay, just keep on. Don't even look. X, it just is crazy. Okay, so why is it always the top? Like, people are making AI photos of Nancy Grace now. Good golly, people. I did post the pictures of me and Nancy Grace together. My cardboard cutout. If you don't have me on Twitter, make sure you run over there and you look for it, because I did. I posted them because someone told me to go and just be with my Nancy Grace cardboard cutout. So I did. And I posted it too. And I tagged her in it. I don't know. This one's saying mystery. Like, it's like a mystery list, but we kind of know who they all are. What's this? This is from February, and then someone just put this out 3 hours ago, like it was like new news. I'm like, what? No, it's not. Okay, so but there is some new news in some other cases. If we don't see anything here, so yeah, just that doesn't really say anything about the other people. Okay. Someone is doing like readings on him. What? Someone said, as of today, the state amended its witness list. No, they did that on the 20th. Today's the 25th. Good golly, Miss Jolly. You know, people be crazy. But I will let you guys know, I have a bunch of tabs open. I'm going to do some more research on our friend Bill, because I don't think that's his name. I don't think that's his name. Son of a gun. I hate it when this happens. You know how, like, when you save an article on, I don't know if you know this, but if you save an article through like Daily Mail, they never save. And I really wanted to read this because it was about Noah Pressgrove. They are suing some of the kids that were like at the party the night that Noah, if you weren't following our case, but this case is just, you know, a sidebar, but the kids that were at that party the night that Noah was like killed, or I mean, he wasn't ran over by a car. That does not happen to somebody ran over by a car. The injuries were grotesque. They were crazy. They were insanity. The parents are thinking it was some sort of like, maybe like, I don't know, initiation maybe of some sort, where they were just like, they just got in a fight. But I wanted to read over it more, and I wanted to see if I can like pull more things together, because I was going to do a live with multiple cases. But I want to do one on Shanquilla Robinson. If you guys don't remember her case, she was the beautiful, beautiful girl that was in Mexico, supposed to be celebrating with her friends. And they ended up, her and another girl, the other girl ended up beating her to death. Let's be real, that's what happened. And they didn't want to pick up the charges in Mexico, and then the United States didn't want to pick up the charges. Well, the FBI got involved, and the FBI just released like 200 pages or more, or something like maybe more than that. So I was like, those are going to be a good read. But they redacted a lot, so I don't know exactly, what it's going to tell us. But might tell us some stuff, might tell us some things. But I was like, wow, when I saw that there was actually like movement in that case, I was very pleasantly surprised. Also, I do need to get a hold of, I'm gonna look him up on Facebook. Actually, I already did. Where is he at? What is going on? Why is this doing this to me? I was like on mine, and I don't know how that happened. But remember the guy that came out? Okay, so Brian Koberger's, this guy that says he knows Brian Koberger, right? He's apparently, he knew him back from their rug days. The math ain't mathing at all. But we do know of a friend that came forward and that was on national news that is now no longer on the rugs, that did know him. Oh, Rich. Remember Rich? Remember him with the braids from the News Nation? Well, I'm going to reach out to him on the old Facebook tomorrow and be like, hey, dude, do you know this guy? Did y'all do drugs together? Tell me the truth. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to say it like that. But, I'm going to ask him, like, do you know this guy? Vicky, you do remember it? I was going to say, I don't know if a lot of people remember it with like, with this group. I mean, everyone should. But if you've been with me for a while, you should. That case was like over a year ago. So Levitated Elephant, he was the one that came out and he wore, I think, like a red or orange shirt. And he knew Brian Koberger. He was on Ashley Banfield. He knew they used to do like, he was like, we used to do drugs together. Like, that's how I knew him. Like he was a very likable person. Like you could tell he was a genuine guy. Like he didn't go on any other interviews after that. I don't ever remember seeing him. Maybe Fox, maybe, but I don't remember that for sure. And then let me see if I can find out. Let me see if I can find a picture of him. I mean, I got his Facebook, but I don't want to like do him that dirty, Let me see if I can. Oh, that's a nice looking picture. They must have just got married. That was cute. Okay, those don't look like him. Maybe I might just have to take the one. I could put his name in here, maybe. Let's see. Oh, no, don't play it. Like I wanted to see the picture. Okay. This guy right here. And then remember the reporter I was talking about the other night? This is him right here. His name's Lawrence something. I looked it up for someone today. Someone asked me. I think that's his name. Shoot, now I don't think that is. Something Lawrence, maybe. I can't remember. But this guy. And he works in drug rehab services. Oh, it's not even popped up for y'all. So I'm so sorry. He works in the rehab system now. Like he used to be, on drugs. Now he helps people get off of them. So sorry. I thought I had it on there. But that's Rich. That's who that is, Rich. Rich went on Fox News and Ashley Banfield, I believe. Maybe he didn't go on Ashley. Maybe he just went on Fox News. But I'm thinking I don't know. He probably went on both, but he didn't go on much other than that, if anything. He just kind of said like his words, like what he wanted to say, and then he was just like done. He was just like out. So, wow. It's so hard to get someone in. I've been there before, baby girl. Not myself, like not me, but I've had to call in for a family member, and it was bad. Do it, Ashley. That would be a good job for you. Someone else, I think, said Cody Thomas today in the chat. I think this guy's name is. Oh, okay. So wait, what was his name? Reporter. That Fox News interview Goncalves family 3 weeks after murders. Let's see if it pulls it up. Yeah, right here. And it was 3 weeks after. Oh, look at me. What's his name? It is him. Lawrence Jones. That's his name. I liked him from the interview that he did with the Goncalveses 3 weeks out, or 3 weeks out, like from the murders. Let's see if I can just find where I just were. Where the heck was I here? I'm going to put it on so you guys can see which one. This interview right here. I thought this one was like very touching. Like with him as a reporter, him and Brian Hinton got my votes, but Steve like speaks like, he gets angry in this interview. Like, he gets a little upset, and I'm every right to be upset if that's your daughter, and you just left the police office or police station, and I'm sure you didn't hear what you wanted to hear. They haven't caught the guy yet, but your daughter's dead, and you've been thinking, what I mean? So I understand. And then Christy says something like, Steve, like, she puts her hand on Steve, and then this guy puts his hand on her, like, it's okay. Like, I don't know, just very loving, like very, just like, I don't know, just like protective almost. Like, it was just very sweet. It was very sweet interview. I really liked him as a reporter after hearing that. So I thought it was very, very sweet. So, but you'll have that. Hey, bullets and bling. I don't know why this puts me at full speed ahead. Oh, but you guys can't see my new little decorations back there. I'm going to have to get a light on the other side. My tree, I have a light for my tree. It just doesn't show. Like, it needs to be brighter. I have a light I can put back there. I think it just might be too bright. There's the dog. She's sleeping now. She's moving her nose back and forth like bewitched. Her eyes are like in the back of her head. She's crazy dogs. Oh, this one's sleeping. I'm about to roll over her. Oh, dang. Oh my God. Her tail just started going. Her tail just started wagging. That was sweet. That was sweet. Are you cold down there? She's like, no, she's shaking a little bit, but she's not cold. She's cool. She tried to bite me earlier. She's cool. Not hard. She just nibbles on me. Oh, there's the other one. She woke up too. Oh, you guys ready? Oh, she just wanted to lay on the floor, I guess. I don't know if you can see her, but she's a big dog. She is a huge dog. I saw this brown dog today, and I thought it was, what was that dog called? Vincent knew exactly what it was. And I'm like, I don't even know what it was called. It had a crazier name than Weimaraner. It was like a dog from another country. Like, I don't know what it was called now, but it was brown. It looks just like a Weimaraner, but they're smaller. they're smaller, right? So like, I'm like, oh, that's like cute. They also are easier to train. They don't need as much of your attention. There was like all these like plus sides to them. But then when you saw the picture of the puppy, the Weimaraner compared to that dog, it was like, oh, the Weimaraner, of course. So it was like, Michael Green, Chili, I've had this book for 2 years, probably 2 summers. This is my second summer with it. I didn't read it last year. I took it, and that's why it's kind of like beat up a little bit, because it was in my pull bag last year, like to read it. And I read like the first few pages. And for some reason, I can't get into like reading at the pool, which I should, because like that's relaxing. But I'll usually just listen to podcast or something while I'm at the pool. But not too bad. The book's hasn't been too bad so far. It's, I guess, from somebody that actually like, lives in the area. So I guess that's one good thing about, the book. It is from someone's perspective of like that lives there. But yeah. Not a Bichon. No, this is a big old dog. It was like it was something no one has ever heard of this dog. I'm gonna like go on to say that. Like that's how like it was called like I don't even know. Like it started with like a V. It was something that nobody like, I mean, I've been around dogs my whole life, and I've brought home every single dog off the street. And I've been to the Humane Society way too many times. My mom said when she was around and I was younger, I wasn't allowed 300 yards from the Humane Society. Do not go near it. Like I would bring something home. But this one, I was like, what? What is that? I'm about to text him. I have my phone over here on a tripod. It's not on, but I thought about doing streaming to TikTok tonight, and I didn't. So I'm going to ask him what that dog is really quick before I get off this live, because I want to know now. He's probably sleeping. He probably fell asleep. Yeah, like he said the name of it, and I was just like, and it was brown. It was beautiful. It was like brown with the big ears. I think it started with like a V or like when he said it, I was like, what? I just texted him. Vizsla. I think that's what it is. I'm going to look that up because that sounds familiar. Was like everyone know but me? That's it. That is it. He didn't let me see the puppies for a reason. They are cute. Okay. Now I got it. Okay, so we're going to put this up, and then we're going to put in my dog's breed. Give me an image of, is this a puppy? No, it's a full bred. So let me get a full bred of this dog. Oh no, they're both really pretty dogs. Okay. So this is the dog that I do not own. This is the dog I do not own, but there's somebody that lives on the backside, like we do. We live on the backside. We live upstairs. They live all the way down, like all the way down at the end, downstairs. And today I saw this dog just barking at people, and I looked at the lady and we made eye contact, like kind of like, I know what you're going through, because I go through that a lot with my dog. So this isn't my dog. I should grab a picture of her, but I just grabbed a picture of a stock picture. But this is the breed that I have. Very similar. Who said that? Willow and Bullets and Bling. Y'all, man. Y'all, see, you guys come with the answers. I didn't even have to text Vincent. Y'all knew. How did y'all know? Y'all, man, that's crazy that you guys knew that. I don't care who you are. I know those dogs they don't look like a whole lot of other dogs, but for y'all to know that, I seriously, I brought home every dog, but never a Weimaraner, never a Weimaraner or a Vizsla. Vizslas are cute dogs though. Because what I was thinking today was I wish that maybe, We dog girls like you. Yeah, you are. You are. No, I was gonna like see today. Like I was gonna ask people today if smaller dogs are they that much easier really to like have. See, I don't know any cat breeds really. I don't know any cat breeds, but I do want a Siamese cat again. I really love that. I had a cat growing up that was Siamese. I want another. I want to get a kitten before like Rocky gets too old, Like I'd like for him to teach the kitten some like Rocky tricks, but I don't know if Rocky would want a cat. You've seen him at dog shows? Oh, Ladybug, that sounds like fun. Oh, at least you got Dale. Dale's cool though. And Dale needs you. You know what I mean? Like Dale needs you. A Russian blue. I want to get a new dog, but I mean I love my dogs I have now, but I'd love to have like a puppy. But I know that's only temporary, like literally for 2 hours until it pees on the floor. And then I'm like, oh, puppies. You know what I mean? Back to this again. Like, no. Get a Maine Coon. I've looked at them. They're huge. They're huge. But I have looked at that, like almost like a crossbreed. Like cut out the dog and the cat and just get the Maine Coon. It's like, I mean, it's as big as a dog, right? What's a red Fraggle? Never heard of that doodle bug. Man, you guys know that. You guys know your dogs. I know. He's your first dog? Oh, Ash, I'm sorry. Do they have the coolest personality? They probably do. They probably do. I just know this dog, she was not even a puppy. I want my money back for that. Like 3 weeks. This dog was full grown. It looked like she wasn't really full grown. She was the size of my other dog. Belgian Mountainous German Shepherd. Oh, I bet that's a pretty dog. That's probably a big dog. Look at that. We're gonna have that Discord set up. I told Vincent if he better help me this weekend. I do have it actually set up. If not, I'll get with True Crime Lullabies. But we do have it. I just need to make sure I can get you guys like all the invite codes and all that stuff. And I am going to actually do I'm going to look into this. So don't quote me on this. I don't think that it would be hard for me to set up another streaming device, like streaming service, like if it was like a Patreon or something like that, just for us to go to stream, to watch or whatever, just to watch like the docu-series and stuff that's coming out. Cause I want to watch that with you guys. Like I can't do it on here because I mean, my live will go down as soon as the music starts, you know what I mean? Like, so, but if we did it on like Discord maybe or Patreon, I have to look into it, but I'll make sure I have all of it set up way before, at least a week before that premiere. So yours plays fetch. Oh my gosh. I bet my cat would do that. My cat's pretty smart. I've watched Fraggle Rock. I think I have. I remember Fraggle Rock. That's cute that you guys all have these doggies and cats you guys are talking about. Oh, we'll have to do a members live where we do like a animal showing. We were going to do that one time before. We never ended up. We ended up doing it, but I don't think anyone came up. Jenna, I am done. Good night, everyone. Good night, Jenna. Have a good night. I'm going to get off here too. Thanks for talking to me at the end of the live. We talked for like a half hour. Look at that. Well, thank you guys for all being here. I do appreciate it. If you guys don't mind, take a second, hit the like on your way out, subscribe to the channel. We're slowly climbing to 21,000 subscribers. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. Then we'll be at, before we know it, we'll be at 25. But it's pretty awesome. That's what I was going to do. I was going to check out Kick. Yeah. That's what I was thinking about doing. Thank you, PKC. because I think it would be just fun, you know. I mean, even if they just download it for like the, you know, to do that, like to watch the shows, and I think you can chat and stuff too. So it would have like all of that, right? So yeah, I will look into all of that and I will get back to you guys. And I have my list of things over here to do. So thank you for being here tonight. I appreciate it so much. I'll see you guys all tomorrow over here on the channel at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for part. What did we do tonight? Y'all, I'm tired tonight. We'll be back for parts 6 and 7. So we're getting through it. But I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Have a wonderful evening. Bye, guys.
Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire